A single woman weaving through a colorful European street market, laughter, language, and life all around her. They said traveling alone would help me find myself, but I never expected to find someone else waiting at the end of that road. Soft romantic music begins building with a hopeful, dreamy melody. She walks past a bakery. Locals greet her. She's smiling, but it's a kind of smile that masks something deeper. She sets up her vlog camera, filming Nora, new city, new sky, just me, my camera, and maybe a little healing. She turns a corner arm full of souvenirs and bumps into someone. Nora, that's the thing about love. It doesn't always knock, sometimes it crashes into you in a foreign city, between coffee and chaos. The man, Leo, apologizes softly. She laughs nervously. They both reach down to pick up her bag. Nora, standing at an airport gate alone, her phone buzzing with unread messages. She turns it off. No goodbye, no tears, just silence. Nora, I quit my job. I left a 5-year relationship. I booked a one-way ticket. Not because I was brave, but because I was empty. Nora, they say when you travel alone, you find yourself. But I wasn't trying to find anything. I just wanted to disappear without anyone noticing. She lifts her camera to film a beautiful fountain. It slips from her hand. Crash! A hand catches it mid-fall. Enter Leo, early 30s, easy charm and eyes that carry stories. Leo, careful. You almost lost something special. Smiles. Good thing I made a habit of saving beautiful things. Nora, I miss my walking tour. Leo, grinning. Then I guess today, fate's your tour guide. He turns, starts walking backward, arms open toward the city. She hesitates, then follows. They sit quietly on a bridge at dusk. Nora, I feel like I've been lost for a long time. Leo softly, not looking at her. You're not lost. You're just not home yet. She turns to look at him and for the first time in a long time smiles like she means it. Nora, maybe I wasn't supposed to run away from my life. Maybe I was supposed to run towards something new, starting with him. Nora turns off her phone, slides it into her coat pocket, and steps into the early morning light. The city breeze quietly beneath her feet, each cobblestone echoing softly like an invitation. She walks with no destination, letting the rhythm of her footsteps lead her past sleepy cafes, warm bread in windows, shutters just beginning to open. It's beautiful, almost unfairly so. And for the first time in weeks, she doesn't feel the weight of leaving. She feels the hope of arriving. Leo finds her again on the plaza steps near the fountain. He holds 2 small paper cups, steam curling upward into the crisp air. She doesn't ask how he knew she'd be there. She just takes the coffee. He says nothing, but his smile is enough. They sit in silence, sipping slowly, the world quietly blooming around them. She asks what his story is. He shrugs, looking out toward the people setting up flower stalls. He used to work in finance. He says, then stopped. That's all. But the way his voice dips, the way his eyes avoid hers, tells her there's more. She doesn't press. She just nods. Sometimes silence is a better listener than words. The hours pass as they wander down twisting alleys and cross bridges strung with locks. He tells her legends of lovers who wrote poems on napkins and hid them in church walls. She films with one hand, clutches her scarf with the other. Her laughter slips out more often now, lighter each time. They eat roasted chestnuts from a street cart. He wipes a smudge from her cheek. She pretends not to notice a heart catching in her throat. Later, as the sun melts into gold behind the old clock tower, they stand at the top of a hill that looks over the entire city. The rooftops shimmer like a sea of secrets, and Leo breaks the quiet. I used to bring someone here, he says, voice low, before everything changed. She doesn't ask who. She just reaches for his hand. They sit together until the last light fades. He hums a tune she doesn't recognize. She closes her eyes and lets herself lean into the comfort of him, this stranger who somehow feels like something she's always known. Back at the rooftop where she first arrived, she watches the city below again. But it feels different now. Not foreign, not far. Leo steps beside her, close enough that their shoulders touch. She speaks without turning. What if I don't want to go back? His reply is quiet, certain, Then maybe you were never supposed to. A beat of stillness. Then she turns to face him, really face him, and it's as if the whole world narrows to this exact moment, this rooftop, this air, this man with history in his eyes and a reflection in his smile. You said I'm not lost, she says. He nods. Because you're not. You're just not home yet. And maybe, just maybe, she thinks this is what home is starting to feel like. They walk with no rush, winding through narrow back streets that only locals know, where cafe signs hang crookedly and art spills onto the sidewalks. Nora films in slow pans, her lens catching golden light bouncing off murals and strangers dancing to accordion music. Leo doesn't guide her as a tour guide would. He walks beside her like a secret waiting to be told. In one quiet garden tucked behind an old church, ivy climbing stone walls like poetry, he kneels and plucks a tiny flower from the ground. This place used to be empty, he says. Then someone planted something small. Now look. She watches his fingers cradle the bloom like it's sacred. He doesn't need to say more. She understands. At a quiet outdoor cafe, she teaches him how to vlog, holds the camera up, spins it to face him, nudges him to talk to the lens. He stumbles, awkward at first. She laughs loud, full, for a moment. Her pain is a blur behind her eyes. She shows him how to frame a shot, how to let the silence speak just enough, how not every story needs to be explained. In return, he takes her to a balcony overlooking the river and hands her a small canvas. I used to think I wasn't good enough to teach art, he confesses. So instead, I just stopped trying. He dips a brush in paint, guides her wrist gently as she copies a view. The rooftops, the sky, the light just beginning to soften. Their hands touch. Neither pulls away. As they paint, they share small truths. She tells him about her past life filled with polished smiles and tight schedules and the loneliness that lived in the spaces in between. He tells her about his father, who left before he could say goodbye, and how he's still waiting for closure that may never come. They don't cry. They just breathe a little deeper, lean a little closer. Evening falls slowly, as if reluctant to interrupt them. On a rooftop high above the city, they sit cross-legged on a worn blanket, surrounded by candles flickering in wine bottles. The view stretches endlessly, the skyline glowing like a dream that's almost real. She speaks first, voice low. What if I'm not enough when I get back? She doesn't look at him when she says it. She stares into the orange horizon, where the sun melts into everything she's afraid to face. He doesn't answer right away. Then, gently, then don't go back. Go forward. The words land between them, soft but solid. She closes her eyes as if memorizing them. The wind lifts her hair. The moment holds. He reaches into his bag, pulls out a small sketch he drew of her laughing at the cafe that morning. She covers her mouth, overwhelmed. He didn't just see her, he remembered her joy. Her fingers tremble slightly as she takes it. She's never felt more visible, more real. Music swells somewhere below them, maybe from a violinist in the street, maybe from her heartbeat. Later, his hand in haze, he walks her to a quiet house just outside the square, where an elderly woman waits on a little porch filled with potted herbs and candlelight. She squints at Nora, then grins wide with recognition not from a past, but from something deeper, ancestral. She waves them over, holding Leo's face between her palms. You smile differently when she's near, she says, then turns to Nora and adds, don't let fear speak louder than your heart. They sit with her, drink warm spiced tea, and Nora tells stories she never thought she'd share. About New York, about burnout, about forgetting what joy feels like. The old woman nods like she's heard every version of this story before. Days pass as if time has forgotten them. They share gelato on park benches and don't speak. They walk beneath a gray sky that cracks open and rains gently, and they don't run for cover. They sketch each other's faces under flickering candlelight, laughing at crooked noses and exaggerated eyelashes. They don't say the word love, but it's there in every pause, every glance, every silent decision to stay close just a little longer. Then the email comes. Nora checks her phone on the cafe terrace while Leo orders breakfast. She stays at the screen too long. The offer is real New York wants her back. Her dream job, her old life, the version of herself she worked so hard to build. Her heart should leap. It doesn't. Leo sees a change in her eyes before she says anything. Later, on a walk by the riverside, she finally tells him, "I got the offer." She keeps her voice steady, but her fingers fidget with her sleeve. He doesn't flinch, just nods slowly, the water glinting behind him. "You came to find yourself," he says, "not lose yourself in someone else." The words feel like they should be kind. Instead, they slice. She turns away, blinking fast. "I'm not trying to lose myself," she says. "But what if I'm finally becoming someone I like, with you?" He doesn't answer right away, and that hurts more than anything. She leaves before he can say goodbye. The airport feels colder than it should. Nora wipes her face one more time before stepping through security. Leo isn't there, and she told herself that was for the best. But as the plane lifts, Prague stretches out beneath her like a memory already trying to fade. Her fingers grip the armrest. She doesn't cry this time. Her tears already set everything back on that riverside path. In New York, the noise returns like a slap. Horns, crowds, people rushing for things that no longer feel important. She walks through her old neighborhood with new eyes, passing a cafe she once loved, now strangely hollow. The barista still remembers her name, but not her smile. At night, she edits footage her camera is still full of him. The rooftops, the laughter, the kiss. She tries to cut him out, but she can't. His in the light, in the silence, in the way she now breathes slower. She posts the video without telling anyone. A simple title, "I left my heart in Prague, or maybe with him." No music, just her voice over raw footage. Honest, shaky, vulnerable. She doesn't say his name, but she doesn't have to. By morning, thousands of comments flood in. "This broke me in the best way." Go back. This is not the end. It can't be. The video climbs. 1 million views. 2. The story they thought was just travel becomes a love letter to every heart that's ever hesitated. Tina, her best friend, bangs on her apartment door that night, holding takeout and tears. "You didn't travel the world to escape," she says between bites. "You traveled to find the piece you were missing. And guess what? You found it. You just walked away from it like an idiot." Nora laughs, but her voice cracks. "It's not that simple." "No," Tina says, putting down her chopsticks. "It's that honest." Nora scrolls through the comments again. One stands out, liked over 10,000 times. "If he helped you find you, why can't you help him find his way too?" She stays at it, reads it again, then opens her laptop, starts recording. No script, no edit, just her. Real. "Hi, I don't know if you'll see this, but I'm not done yet. Not with this. Not with you." She hits upload before she can change her mind. The plane lands softly. The city is the same, but her heart isn't. Nora steps out into the sun, no longer lost in the crowd this time. She's here on purpose. Her luggage is smaller. Her breath is steadier. She doesn't film her arrival. This moment doesn't need documenting. It needs living. She walks with quiet certainty through the winding streets that now feel like an old song. Familiar corners greet her. The cafe with a crooked umbrella. The steps where she first dropped her camera. She pauses, smiles, touches a stone like it's a heartbeat she left behind. She doesn't speak, just watches, lets him exist in the beauty he always carried inside him. And then she steps forward. He turns. Their eyes meet. The moment freezes. His brush slips from his fingers. "You came back," he breathes, barely above a whisper. She shakes her head slowly, eyes locked on his. "No," she says, "I'm moving forward. With you." He exhales a kind of breath you only release when you've been holding onto a hope you didn't dare name. And in that stillness, everything unspoken between them rises to the surface. The missed chances, the aching days apart, the truth that never left. He crosses the distance. No words now, just a gravity between two people who finally chose each other. When their lips meet, it's not dramatic. It's quiet, real, the kind of kiss that feels like home. Around them, life continues. Paint dries, wind rustles leaves. But in their little corner of the world, time gives them a moment of mercy. And in that moment, She knows this isn't an ending. This is a beginning she never planned, but always needed.